This is going to be ranking college logos from worst to best. For this series, I'm just going to be using the Power 5 schools. 65 is Nebraska. This one is pretty terrible. It's just a red N with the most basic font style possible. 64 is Oklahoma. Again, this is another one that's just one color and two letters. Very basic font, not very interesting. 63 is Oregon, another one that's just a letter and only one color, but I do like the unique style of the O, so that's why it beat out the other two. 62, Tennessee, the same thing. One letter, one color, but the font style is a little bit cooler than the others. 61 is Baylor. Still pretty plain, but a little bit better than the ones we've seen so far. I do like kind of how the corners here are edged in. That's a neat look, but otherwise nothing special. 60 is Kentucky. Again, not a ton of creativity here, but the way the two letters kind of mesh together looks alright. 59 is Rutgers. Incredibly boring and plain design, but it beat out the ones we've seen so far because it's the first one with two colors. 58 is Wake Forest. Now, I do like this color scheme, but at the end of the day, it's just two letters and the font style isn't anything special. 57, Illinois. Again, just a letter, but I do like the orange and dark blue combo. 56, Washington. You should be noticing a theme here of logos that are just letters, but like the others, I do like the purple and gold combo. 55, Syracuse. Now, orange is my favorite color, so I like that, and I think this shade of blue just really makes the logo look a little more eye-popping. 54, Virginia Tech. Now, we're starting to get a little bit better here. This one at least has some substance to it since it's kind of leaning and looking like it's going forward, so it makes it look a little bit more sleek. 53, Purdue. Again, same thing here. I like the leaning look. It makes it stand out a little bit more than it would if it were just straight up and down. 52, Michigan. Kind of plain, but I like the font style, and it's super iconic. 51, LSU, a very simple concept, but I think this color scheme and font style makes it look pretty cool. 50 is Notre Dame. Now, it's boring because it's just one color and just a couple letters, but I think what makes this one so cool and got it this far in the list is I just love how they mesh together perfectly in the middle. 49 is Minnesota. Now, it is just a plain letter M, but I like the color scheme, and I like kind of how it flattens out on the top and bottom. 48, Arizona, another one that's just a letter, but I think the color scheme makes this one look a lot better, and I think the design is just super cool. 47 is Vanderbilt. Now, this one offers a little bit more than some of the ones we've seen so far that are just letters, but it's almost like there's no creativity here. It's like they ran out of time and didn't know what to make the logo, so they figured they'd just put a star and the letter in the middle. 46 is Miami. Now, I know this one is super iconic, and I do like the fact that it has two colors, and it's a solid design, but at the end of the day, it's just a letter U. 45 is Georgia. One of the more unique looks for the logos that are just letters, so that's why it made it this far on the list. 44, Texas A&M, decent concept, and I like the white trim in the middle. 43 is Oklahoma State. Now, I love the color orange, so that's partially why it made it this far, but I also just really like the design of this one, especially the extension of the S. 42 is Auburn. Now, I know this is another one that's just letters, but I just think the design of this one is super cool, and I like the font style. 41 is Pittsburgh. Now, personally, I'm a big fan of this concept. The cursive font looks phenomenal. There's just not much creativity to it, so I didn't think it deserved to be much higher. 40 is Cal. Exact same concept. I just think underlining the word gave it a little bit more flair than Pitts. And number 39, Ole Miss. Same thing here too, but I think this one just looks a little bit better because I love the color scheme and how tight the letters are to each other. 38 is Indiana. Now, I know this is just one color and just letters, but I think it looks super cool because it's almost like they make three pillars. 37, USC, kind of basic, but I love how the C kind of hooks onto the S. 36, Texas Tech, love the 3D feel to this one. 35 is Wisconsin. Obviously nothing special here since it's just a letter, but the shadowing in the background of the letter is what made it go this far. I just love how it gives it a 3D look. 34 is Maryland. Now, the primary portion of this one is also just a letter, but I like the yellow trim. It really makes it pop, and the best thing about this one is the Maryland state flag on the bottom of the logo. 33, Mississippi State. A simple design, but the banner look for the word state is really cool. 32, Iowa State. A similar concept, but I just think the font and color scheme for this one is a little bit better. 31, UCLA. The cursive font gives this one a classic look, and I like how the tail of the word has the school nickname. 30 is Duke. Now, this is a pretty basic design with just a letter, but I think the font style really made this one stand out and rise above the others because of kind of unique points in each of the corners. 29 is Northwestern. Again, a basic concept, but I just really like this one because the unique font style makes the edges look really cool. 28 is North Carolina. Now, this is another one with just letters, but I like how unique it is, how they kind of intertwine the two letters together, and it looks pretty cool. 27 is Alabama. Now, I like the cursive style A that they have in the center of the logo, and having the circle around it with the school name and nickname is a pretty cool touch, too. 26 is Ohio State. Now, not a whole lot going on here, but I just think the color scheme makes this one look excellent, and I really like the font style of the big red O that they have. 25 is Virginia. Now the line down the middle here in the V almost makes it look 3D, so that's cool. And I like the swords on the bottom. Just couldn't have them any higher because I think with a cool name like Cavaliers, you could have done a little bit more. 24 is Utah. Now, like Virginia, it's kind of a basic design having the centerpiece just be a letter, but the feathers in the back portion of this one are a really nice touch. 23 is NC State. Now, obviously, letter logos are not that creative, but I just love how they have the NC in the middle of the S. 22, Louisville. Looks pretty cool, but just your basic cardinal. 21 is Michigan State. Not a ton of creativity here for a team with a name like Spartans, but overall, it's just a really cool look. 20 is Clemson. Similar thing here. Again, it's not overly creative, but it is perfect for a team with a name like Tigers, and I like all the different little details in each portion of the paw. 19 is Georgia Tech. Again, if you're noticing a theme here, there's nothing overly special about it, but it's just a cool look, and it perfectly represents their team name. 18 is Penn State. Now, I like how simple this one is. Like, if you look at it, there's not a whole lot of details, but it just looks excellent even without all of that. 17 is Kansas State. Same thing here. Not a ton of in-depth details in the design of the logo, but it still looks really good. 16 is Iowa. This one's got a little bit more details than the last few, and it's just a super clean look, and I love the black and yellow color scheme. 15 is Boston College. Love the style of the BC lettering, and I'm also a big fan of the way the eagle looks like it's flying over top of the letters. 14 is West Virginia. Now, at first glance, this one looks really simple and boring, but if you take a closer look, these ridges in the W and the V represent the mountains in their state and their team nickname. 13 is Colorado. This one just looks super cool and perfectly represents their team name of Buffaloes. 12 is Texas. This one is absolutely iconic, easily recognizable, and is just a really clean overall look. 11 is Stanford. Super simple design, but I just think it's absolutely hilarious to have a tree as the centerpiece of your logo, so I had to have them this high. 10 is Missouri. Now, you could easily get complacent with a team name like Tigers and just have a basic logo, but this one is absolutely phenomenal. Looks super intimidating. 9 is Arizona State. Another one that's a really simple design, just having the pitchfork on there, but it looks awesome and perfectly represents their team nickname. 8 is Arkansas. Not a ton to say about this one. The design is just excellent, and it looks super tough. 7 is Oregon State. Now, I love the color orange, so that obviously had an impact, but the main reason behind this one being so high is the design of this one just looks sweet. Number 6 is Florida. I've just always loved this one. It's a super cool look, fairly intimidating, and perfectly represents their team name. Number 5 is TCU. The Horned Frog is an awesome mascot, so obviously it's going to look really cool as a logo. Number 4 is Florida State. This is another one that I've just always liked. The Seminole looks awesome, especially with the face paint as well as the feather. Number 3 is South Carolina. This color scheme is phenomenal and just really makes it pop, and the Gamecock logo in the center is really cool looking too. Number 2 is Kansas. This one's just super unique, so it really stood out, and all the colors make this one pop. And the number 1 logo in the Power 5 is Washington State. Now, obviously, it looks like a cougar, so that's great, but what I love about this one is that in the logo, it has their school initials of WSU. That is super creative.